evening, everyone. Welcome to Delta Entertainment. I am your host, Liquor Kenobi. And before we get started, I would like you guys please hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. Would appreciate that very, very much. All right, let's get into this. All right, looks like today we got another article that just came out, and I've never heard of this company before. I've never heard of it, but I'm going to read more about it. Polygon. Polygon sold to GameRant owner Valnet, followed by immediate mass layoffs of Polygon staffers. So that is not good in the gaming world, in the gaming industry. So let's read this article and see what's going on. Polygon, the gaming site that was once a flagship brand of Vox Media's digital publishing empire, has been sold to Valnet, a Canadian media conglomerate behind GameRant, ScreenRant, The Gamer, and slew of SEO focused websites. Uh-huh. Because I know GameRant and ScreenRant. I know these guys. Because I do sometimes look at their articles, see if they got something. Immediately following the sale, most of their staff quickly found themselves Polygon when a wave of layoffs swept through key editorial staff, including former editor-in-chief Chris Plante. In a press release, Valnet celebrated the acquisition as perfectly aligned with its gaming portfolio, boasting that Polygon would join the ranks of other outlets like DualShockers, Extra Life, and Open's Critic. The company described its approach as one of proven operational excellence, but the long-time Polygon staff, the transition appears to have brought more downsizing than opportunity. So it looks like that a lot of these people that got laid off went to this so-called social media network, Blue Sky. Kind of like a replacement of Twitter's X. It looks like people are just left it. So here it is. You got Nicole Carpenter. She says this right here. I'll say more later, but I no longer have a job. I'm looking for work, as are so many of my amazing colleagues. I have lots of ideas and things I like to write. I'm really in shock. So not only Polygon has got sold to these companies, people like Nicole got fired, got laid off. And that is pretty bad for them. Posts on social media and internal memos confirm that not all employees were retained. Chris Plante, one of the site's most recognizable figures, posted, I'm no longer with Polygon. If you're hiring, please consider the many talented writers and editors now on the market. Every one of them deserves a spot on your staff. I won't be talking more about the sales because I wasn't involved. Vox Media CEO Jim Bankoff framed the sale as a strategic decision driven by the challenging economic environment. So this transition was enable us to focus on our energies and investment resources in other priority areas of growth across our portfolio. He said after it was announced that Polygon has been sold, the internal note to Vox staff reportedly client industry-wide disruption and financial headlines as key motivators for the sale. So we got another one here. Anna Diaz. I am among the many folks who got laid off today. Don't have anything good or thoughtful to say on it. ATM. Gutted, sad, feel completely screwed. Blank Fox Media Management forever. They did this blank on my day. Fox Media Union forever. Valnet's track record, however, raises concerns about the future direction of Polygon now that it has been sold off. The company has often been described as running a high output, low cost operation. A recent report in The Warp quoted a former contributor describing conditions of Valnet managed outlets as almost swept shop level, citing unrealistic expectations and minimal editorial oversight. So I want to do this. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to get a video. I'm going to look at a video about this. Just want to make sure that I don't. Let me make sure real quick that I'm not Okay, I'm not losing it. So let's take a look and find it. I'm gonna find what Jeremy talked about this. I'm gonna try to find that video. Let me see, Jeremy. Come on, Jeremy, where are you, buddy? Here it is.
To Val.
So we're gonna take a look at this video so we can understand what is going on. So let me get over here. All right. Here it is. So let's take a look at this real quick before I read this part right here. Let's take a look at what is going on so then I can really understand what it is. So let's hear what my friend Jeremy's got to say about Polygon. All right, so let's take a look.
Another epic Chud victory has happened, ladies and gentlemen, because Polygon has been sold and mass layoffs are happening. And guess where all the Polygon employees are going to cry? They're going to Blue Sky. That should tell you everything you need to know about Polygon and the type of people that were there. A number of Polygon reporters were laid off on Thursday, including co-founder and editor-in-chief. The job cuts coincided with the announcement that Vox Media was selling the video game-focused site to Valnet. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, and Vox Media rep declined to tell the Wrap how many staffers lost their jobs as part of the sale. I am no longer with Polygon. If you're hiring, please consider the many talented writers and editors now on the market. On Blue Sky, Chris Plant said, every one of them deserves a spot on your staff. I won't be talking more about the sale because I was not involved. Going to hang out with my kid, taking wins where I can. So here you have it. Polygon staffers going to Blue Sky. That is so freaking beautiful right there. Other Polygon staffers shared they were let go on social media as well, including their correspondent right here, this guy, who had been with Polygon since it launched in 2012. I feel nothing, says Charlie Hall, posted on Blue Sky. I feel nothing. Oh, this is glorious. Grum says right here, Polygon sold off, fires almost everyone. Between market forces and the epic Chud wins of last year, gaming journalism is gone. This is a huge win. You're better off watching gameplay streamed and judging things for yourself. And of course, Kotaku is the source that he used right here. And we all expect Kotaku to be next, or at least in the very near future, closing their doors. Really, the only, also we got Kotaku. We've got GameSpot still out there. We watched G4 just collapse right before our very eyes. And IGN.
All right, so right now what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing here is I'm thinking that this is part of this woke media thing. I think that this Polygon company is part of this woke agenda thing. And just like Kotaku is, I think I feel sorry for the people a bit. But hey, if their stuff has been failing a lot lately and everything, just like what's been going on with Ubisoft and all, maybe they deserve it. Maybe they did deserve to get laid off. Well, who knows, man? Who knows? But like I said, dude, let's keep watching what Jeremy's got to say.
IGN is still a thing. It feels like IGN is not as bad as places like Polygon and Kotaku. I'm not saying IGN is good because they're not, but it just doesn't feel that they're as bad as a lot of these sites. You could just look up so many things that Polygon has done and so many articles that they have written and so many horrifically bad takes, and they're pure hatred for gamers. And this is why they're in this position. And how many of us have said over and over again, this is where you're going to end up. Look at this right here. Well-known Polygon writer claims hard R must be intentional in Stellar Blade. His other famous opinions include Bayonetta is sexist, awful. Witcher 3 is sexist, awful. He has pronouns in his name, not even just in his bio. He has them in his name. These are the people we're talking about. Here's Savvy. If they were so great, Polygon wouldn't have gone under. Experts. And it's just a bunch of opinionated activists who think that they still control the industry. The day that devs no longer have to worry about some agenda-driven Chuckle Duck putting out some stupid, I can't believe the studios like this will be that studios look like this will be glorious. If game bloggers would just write about the game instead of why they think more women need to be in the industry. Exactly, because it's not about the game. It's not about it's not about the game. It's not about the gameplay. It's not about the mechanics. It's about the agenda involved in it. Wokeness is a disease. Once that disease has infected you, you need to cut it out completely. If you do not cut that disease out, it will spread and it will ultimately destroy. That's what a disease does. And wokeness is a disease. And Polygon just found out the hard way that wokeness always destroys. And of course, again, them being over there on Blue Sky is so funny.
Yeah. And I agree. And I do agree with this. I do totally agree because, I mean, it's just like what's going on with Sweet Baby Yank trying to get themselves involved with these certain games. If you go woke, you're going to definitely go broke. So now that I'm seeing what Polygon is, so Polygon is another company that's like Sweet Baby Inc. basically. So right now I got nothing to say about this article, man, but I can tell you this, that it is very bad, bro. So let's see if we can read more about this. Valnet's track record, however, raises concerns about the future direction of Polygon now that it has been sold off. The company has often described as running a high output, low cost operation. A recent report in the Warp and the Wrap quoted a former contributor describing the conditions of Valnet managed outlets as almost sweatshop level, citing unrealistic expectations and minimal editorial oversight. With more than 27 brands under its control, Valnet is rapidly consolidating digital media spaces by acquiring name recognition properties and transforming them into click-focused engines. Critics argue that this strategy sacrifices quality and journalistic integrity in favor of the volumes and algorithm appeal. Others suggest Polygons, which has had already alienated some of its audience with progressive ideological editorial choices, is unlikely to regain its former prestige under Valnet's stewardship. So yeah, man. I mean, Polygon, man. Polygon should have never gotten involved with this woke nonsense. And if they would have been away from this woke nonsense, bro, they would have been successful. They would have been okay. They would have not been touched. But companies like Sweet Baby Inc., Kotaku, influencing right now on companies like Ubisoft, Rocksteady, you know, they're going down business, bro. They're trying to destroy these companies, man, and people need to start waking up, man. I mean, look what happened to EA Electronic Arts. Look what happened to Electronic Arts and Remedy, man. They lost money. They lost money because of their Dragon Age Veilguard game, and they have taken a massive layoffs. And this tells you, man, you go woke, you will go broke. All right, that's going to be it for this article. So, thank you all so much for watching this video and being part of the channel. So please share this video, post a comment below, let me know your thoughts. As always, thank you all so much, and I'll be seeing you all until next time. Good night, everyone.